What's good, stream? I'm gonna do a mic check real quick. What's good, Twitch? What's good, YouTube? Mic check before I start the stream. Mic checker, mic checker. Cool. All right, we're good. Upstream, we're gonna start with some league, and we're gonna throw on some few videos. Start with this one. We got like 2 games in, and then I gotta tip out.
The conspiracy theories just aren't true. They never have been. It's an honor to serve the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and I'll continue to do so for as long as he calls on me. The conspiracy theories just aren't true. Then why was the president pushing them?
Bill Clinton.
Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. That island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew.
If you think the conspiracy theories just aren't true, then release all of the information. Release everything. So this was 1 minute ago. All right, let's see what he says. What's going on with my boys and in some cases gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We are one team MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and quote, selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary? They created the Epstein files, and now my so-called quote friends are playing right into their hands. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? We're saving our country and making America great again. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, arresting thugs and criminals instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the old radical left inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. 1 year ago, our country was dead, and now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I don't think you should be saying thank you, because I have a lot of attention for this matter. I have a lot of attention. If it was all a cover-up, we need a public apology by Trump to Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew. How the fuck are you gonna go and say that a former president was a fucking rapist pedophile with no evidence? You're finally president, and then you say it doesn't exist, and you don't even offer and correct yourself? If he doesn't solve this in some way or another, this is going to completely tarnish his entire reputation. The Democrats wrote the Epstein shit? Yeah. To act like the Democrats made all of this stuff up, then why was Bill Clinton and a bunch of other people like Bill Gates implicated in it? These are people who are oppositional to you. So why would the Democrats go and make up a bunch of stuff that implicates a bunch of their own people? Where's the proof? Yeah, they've got to post everything about this. They do. That's crazy. I think this is ridiculous.
See what else we got. You know what? Just search it up right here. Conspiracy videos. 5 disturbing conspiracy theories we'll really hope are not true. Let's check it out.
Today, conspiracy theories spread quickly through the internet and social media. Some are clear hoaxes, but others tell darker stories that make us question what is real. These theories often play on our fears and lack of trust in authorities, suggesting cover-ups and secret agendas. In this video, we look at 5 disturbing conspiracy theories that many hope are not true, but probably are. Now, before we begin, we wanted to mention something. You may have noticed that sometimes our videos just disappear, get age restricted, or simply stop showing up in your feed. This isn't by accident. We've been covering topics that are not always algorithm friendly for many years, and honestly, YouTube does not
Sounds way
love
more
it when we
ominous.
dive deep into certain conversations, especially the kind that challenge mainstream narratives. So if you ever feel like you're only seeing half of what we're talking about, it's because in one way you are. That's why we've set up a free membership tier over on Patreon. It's a space where we can post the full, unfiltered versions of our content. We're not asking for money, not unless you want to support, but if you just want access to what YouTube will not show, the free tier is all yours, and the link is in the description. It's important to us that we're able to continue producing content.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But at this rate, it's increasingly clear that YouTube do not want us to. This one is about to get interesting, so strap yourself in, hit those lights, and enjoy. The Miami Mall alien incident. Shout out to Bowen over on Patreon for bringing this one to my attention. On New Year's Day 2024, Bayside Marketplace in Miami became the epicenter of alien rumors, with videos and social media posts sparking widespread speculation and conspiracies about a cover-up. While the story has never been officially confirmed, the true nature of what happened that day continues to spark interest. On January 1st, 2024, Bayside Marketplace in Miami descended into chaos when a large group of teenagers engaged in a violent altercation. The fight broke out shortly before 8:30 p.m, and the teenagers were reportedly setting off loud fireworks, which led some bystanders to mistake the sounds for gunfire, resulting in fears of an active shooter situation. Police arrived en masse, some heavily armed, and approached the crowd with high-powered rifles under the belief they were responding to a shooting incident. Videos of the extensive police presence showing dozens of officers were soon posted on social media. In the hours following the incident, blurry videos capturing the altercation quickly spread across social media platforms, and viewers soon noticed a strange anomaly in some of the footage.
What is it?
As interest in the videos grew, users began speculating that the incident might be connected to extraterrestrial phenomena.
What?
Eyewitnesses started reporting unsettling encounters with shadowy figures ranging from 8 to 10 feet in height, moving silently around the area. Additionally, many individuals claimed to have seen unusual lights flickering near the marketplace, which further fueled theories about otherworldly visitors. Videos posted to X clearly showed a being walking along the side of a building. Take a look.
You want to check out that window?
This footage sparked a frenzy on social media, leading to the trending of #MiamiMallAliens. Rumors spread, with many pointing out
I remember
that the
this. They
police
just stopped
response
talking about
seemed
it.
disproportionate to the situation. Videos showed hundreds of police officers and dozens of Miami Police Department cars lining the streets. Some even claimed that Miami Airport had been shut down.
No.
In the days that followed, social media was filled with conspiracy theories, the most popular of which suggested alien involvement, implying that something more significant had triggered such a substantial police response. There were even police helicopters checking out the area, and more than one person in the area at the time had their phones checked. But perhaps the strangest thing was the U-turn of a man who was visiting the mall from out of town, who posted a video account of events to social media, insisting the scene looked like a Hollywood movie. He later followed up his post with a totally different tone, going back on what he initially said, prompting people to think he had been intimidated into keeping silent. As the story spread, the Miami police were quick to shut down the speculation, and in a social media post clarified that there was no truth to the rumors, saying, "Nothing is being withheld from the public. No aliens, UFOs, or extraterrestrials. No airports were closed, and there were no power outages." The release of cleared footage indicated that the figures were likely police officers or shadows. However, witnesses and truth seekers were skeptical of the official narrative and believed there was a cover-up regarding what really happened that day. Mel's Hole. The legend of Mel's Hole began on February 21st, 1997, when a man named Mel Waters called into the popular radio show Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. Mel claimed that there was a seemingly bottomless pit on his property. Although he refused to share the exact coordinates, he mentioned that it was located approximately 9 miles, 14 kilometers, west of Ellensburg in Kittitas County, Washington. The hole was referred to as an open secret, a mysterious feature of the local landscape where residents had reportedly discarded their trash for centuries. Notably, Mel suggested that the area's earliest settlers called it the Devil's Hole, which hints at a sinister reputation. During his initial phone call to the show, Mel shared that his dogs displayed an unsettling fear of the hole, refusing to go near it. He also attempted to measure its depth using fishing line and a weight, and mentioned that he had deployed an astounding 79,000 feet, approximately 24,000 meters, of fishing line without ever reaching the bottom. Over the years, Mel made several additional appearances on the show, each time presenting increasingly bizarre claims. One of the most extraordinary claims he made was that the hole possessed supernatural powers reminiscent of the eerie phenomena depicted in Stephen King's novel Pet Sematary. He recounted an astonishing incident in which his neighbor tossed a deceased dog into the hole. Later, the neighbor encountered the same dog wandering in the woods, and although the dog did not seem to recognize its owner, it was wearing the collar of the pet that had been thrown into the hole. In addition to these eerie tales, Mel described how the hole appeared to have transformative properties on objects placed near it. He claimed that metals would inexplicably change into different types of metals, and radios brought close to the hole would emit strange voices and play songs from past decades. He vividly recalled an incident in which a bucket of ice lowered into the hole emerged warm yet solid, and according to his claims, it was even flammable. Mel also noted that the hole produced no echoes. Regardless of the size or weight of the object thrown in, there was always an eerie silence. One of his most disturbing claims involved lowering a live sheep into a hole. The poor sheep shrieked and kicked on the way down, but suddenly went silent. When Mel pulled it out, he discovered that the animal had been cooked, and to his horror, the sheep had also developed a strange lump that began to move. When he cut it open, he found a fetal seal inside, which he described as having intelligent, human-like eyes. At the time, Mel claims he was suffering from esophageal cancer, but after the encounter with the seal, his cancer was cured. During a call in 2000, Mel alleged that the federal government had seized his land, barred him from accessing the hole, and provided him with financial compensation for his troubles. After accepting the money, Mel said he relocated to Australia. In 2002, Mel made his last call. He claimed that after spending 2 years in Australia, he had returned to Washington, but while on a bus, he was seized by police officers, and 2 weeks later was left on the streets of San Francisco. He reported having intravenous marks on his arm, several missing teeth, and no memory of the events during his time away. Despite this, he managed to return to his hometown, where he felt as though menacing strangers were following him. When he got there, he discovered that his land had been taken over by the government, and the area had been erased from an early mapping system called TerraServer. If that wasn't all strange enough, Mel also stated that he found a nearly identical hole in the Badlands of Nevada.
Come on, man.
This hole featured a metal ring extending down into the ground, unlike the brick lining of the previous site, but his experiments there yielded similar results. In 2002, a group of 30 people, inspired by Mel's claims, searched for the hole, but returned empty-handed, and local reporters found no evidence of anyone named Mel Waters in Kittitas County, raising speculation that the story might be a hoax. Scientific evidence also suggests that the hole is impossible. The Earth's crust averages about 30 kilometers, 19 miles thick, and geologist Jack Powell stated that such a hole would collapse under pressure and heat. Despite numerous attempts to debunk Mel's hole, the intrigue remains, and enthusiasts continue to explore the area. However, the whereabouts of Mel Waters remains unknown.
Imagine being able to build anything, for any reason, in any style.
Leon Black paid Epstein $158 million. Jeffrey Epstein, a deceased American financier and convicted sex offender, often presented himself as a mathematical genius and a financial doctor for the wealthy. Despite dropping out of college, he was indeed skilled in finance. Epstein claimed that his services were exclusively available to billionaires, whom he advised primarily from a private tropical island. He amassed hundreds of millions of dollars by assisting a select group of affluent clients in minimizing their tax obligations. After Epstein's arrest and subsequent death in jail, many of his wealthy clients attempted to distance themselves from him. However, some were too financially entangled to fully disassociate. One such person was Leon Black, the billionaire private equity investor and former CEO of Apollo Global Management. When the allegations against Epstein became headline news, Black tried to play down his relationship with the sex offender, saying his connection to Epstein was a limited relationship. However, it later emerged that their association was much deeper. The two frequently socialized and dined together, and Black was a significant client of Epstein during the last decade of his life, and their friendship dated back to 1997 and continued even after Epstein pleaded guilty and was convicted in 2008 of procuring a child for prostitution and of soliciting a prostitute. In 2020, Black further explained the nature of his engagement with Epstein, indicating that Epstein provided invaluable services in estate planning, tax strategies, and philanthropic guidance regarding his family partnership and associated entities. But as scrutiny increased regarding his connections to Epstein, Black asked the Apollo board to conduct an independent review of his interactions with Epstein. To carry out this review, Apollo engaged the renowned law firm DeShare LLP, recognized for its expertise in financial and legal matters. The results of the review were made public on January 25th, 2021. The report showed that Black paid Jeffrey Epstein about $158 million for financial services over 6 years. By using Epstein's tax avoidance strategies, Black saved at least $1.3 billion in taxes. This highlights the significant financial impact of their business relationship. As a result of the investigation, Black stepped down as CEO and chairman of Apollo Global Management. Because of his controversial association with Epstein, Black promised to donate $200 million to support women, aiming to focus on more positive contributions. In a further development in 2023, Black agreed to a settlement of $62.5 million with the US Virgin Islands, allowing him to be released from claims related to Epstein. Despite Black expressing considerable remorse, stating that he deeply regrets the nature of his relationship with Epstein, would he have said that if Epstein hadn't been caught? It seems unlikely. There appears to be much more to Black's relationship with Epstein than initially meets the eye. $158
Damn,
million
that one got saved
is a
up.
huge amount of money to pay someone who was already a convicted sex offender. Black had a fortune of $9 billion, which meant he could have hired the best lawyers and accountants in the world. This raises the question, why did he entrust his financial matters to Epstein, who had no formal training in tax and estate planning? In effect, Black bought himself out of trouble. On July 7th, 2025, the high-profile clients of Jeffrey Epstein, including Black, must have breathed a sigh of relief after the Department of Justice and FBI revealed that Jeffrey Epstein had no incriminating client list, unless of course someone's been paid to make it disappear. The fake CIA vaccine campaign to find bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, the founder and former leader of Al-Qaeda, went into hiding after the war in Afghanistan began to avoid capture. He had been on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list since 1999. After successfully evading capture during the Battle of Tora Bora in December 2001, his whereabouts became uncertain. In the decade that followed his disappearance, the US government made numerous attempts to locate him. In December 2009, US Army General Stanley McChrystal stated that bin Laden needed to be captured or killed for the US to finally defeat Al-Qaeda. Eventually, American intelligence officials received a lead after gathering information from detainees at Guantanamo Bay. They identified one of bin Laden's couriers, who used the pseudonym Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. This courier was believed to be a protege of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the former head of propaganda for Al-Qaeda. In 2007, US officials identified the courier's real name as Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed, and by 2009, it was discovered that he resided in Abbottabad, Pakistan. In August 2010, CIA paramilitary operatives located al-Kuwaiti and followed him to a compound in Abbottabad, leading them to suspect that it was bin Laden's hideout. Using satellite images and intelligence reports, the CIA determined the identities of the inhabitants living in the compound. However, to be absolutely sure about the identities of those living in the compound, the CIA devised an elaborate plan. They proposed a fake vaccination program in the area surrounding the compound to gain access to children living there and collect DNA samples to compare with those from bin Laden's family, as they had DNA from his sister, who passed away in Boston in 2010. The CIA collaborated with Dr. Shakil Afridi, who traveled to Abbottabad in March 2011, claiming to have secured funds for free hepatitis B vaccinations for all children in the area. He bypassed the health service by paying off low-ranking officials. Health workers in the area had previously gained access to the bin Laden compound to administer polio vaccinations to some children. Afridi placed posters advertising the vaccination program around Abbottabad, and he began the program in a poorer part of town to lend it an authentic appearance. A nurse known as Bakhto was able to enter the bin Laden compound to administer the vaccines. According to multiple sources, Afridi, who waited outside, instructed her to take in a handbag equipped with an unknown electronic device. It is unclear what the device was intended for, or whether she left it behind, and the nurse was unaware of the true purpose of the vaccination campaign. It is uncertain whether any DNA from the children convinced US forces that bin Laden was indeed in the compound, but they appeared sufficiently convinced he was there, because on May 1st, 2011, United States Navy SEALs from the Naval Special Warfare Development Group carried out an assault on the compound under the orders of US President Barack Obama. During the 40-minute raid, Osama bin Laden was killed in the pre-dawn hours of May 2nd. He suffered one gunshot wound above his left eye and another to his chest. The SEALs overcame the remaining residents of the compound, resulting in several deaths, and subsequently extracted bin Laden's body. His remains were then buried at sea, along with computer hard drives, documents, and other materials recovered during the
I heard of this one.
Well, that's the official line anyway.
Wix. One platform, any website. Unlimited creation. Describe your needs and goals. And AI will transform your tailored brief into a unique website that's ready to perform in minutes. Customize it. Shape your visitor's experience with show-stopping visuals and interactions that elevate every part of your site, down to the finest
I killed myself. Oh, I didn't.
Control everything on the platform where form
I thought he was gonna
meets
go
function.
into his face.
Monitor, measure, and manage all your website's activity from one place. Stay constantly connected so you can take any action and improve your site's performance at any time, from anywhere. Evolve effortlessly with scalable solutions that grow with you, turning what you've got into where you want to go with confidence and persistence.
I just want him.
Personalized, customized, ready to go live. Wix.
Got him. I can make it. Can I make it?
Luke, what's going on over there?
I'm doing the work. I'm doing everything.
Oh my gosh.
You're way too scatterbrained. You are using way too many tools.
Surely Johnson's baby powder doesn't cause cancer, or does
Oh,
it?
I said Shorty Johnson.
In 2023, Johnson & Johnson agreed to pay $8.9 billion to settle tens of thousands of lawsuits that allege the talc in its iconic baby powder and other products caused cancer. This settlement led to a surge of additional claims from individuals who assert that their cancer diagnoses were linked to the use of talc. Talcum powder is made from talc, a mineral primarily composed of magnesium, silicon, and oxygen. As a powder, it effectively absorbs moisture and reduces friction, making it useful for keeping skin dry and preventing rashes. It is commonly found in cosmetic products, including baby powder, adult body powders, facial powders, and other consumer items.
Oh, he's done.
Talc is extracted from the earth, and in its natural state, some talc may contain asbestos, a substance known to cause cancer. In
Look at Diana.
1976, although there was no official statement, the Cosmetic, Toiletry, and Fragrance
Check
Association
now.
quietly established voluntary guidelines to ensure consumer safety. These guidelines required that all talc used in cosmetic products manufactured and sold in the United States must be free of detectable levels of asbestos, in strict adherence to their established safety standards.
I
However,
wanted
the
to
change
kill.
did not help those who were previously frequent users of talc containing asbestos, who now argue the damage was already done. Concerns about a potential link between talcum powder and cancer have primarily focused on two areas: lung cancer, involving talc miners and millers, who may have
GG.
inhaled naturally occurring asbestos in talc during its extraction and processing. However, most of the claims are from women who have used baby powder in the genital area for many years, potentially increasing the risk of ovarian cancer. Research indicates that powder particles deposited in the genital area might migrate through the vaginal canal, uterus, and fallopian tubes, potentially reaching the ovaries. Although it is worth pointing out that despite a considerable amount of research into
That
the
is
link,
shitty
the
damage.
findings are mixed. Some studies suggest a marginal increase in risk associated with talcum powder use, while others report no significant correlation. But is there no smoke without
That was
fire?
one and done. I gotta head to
Why would
LAX.
Johnson & Johnson pay out
Good game,
such
guys. I'll
huge
be back on
sums
later.
if there was no proof of a
Peace
link?
out, chat.
It seems this is the tip of the